Hi, I'm Felicia Donnelly, Oldsmar City Manager, and this is Jordan Lantz, Management Analyst. We're here today to discuss the process for downtown redevelopment, specifically the 8 acres that surround City Hall.
Felicia, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the downtown City Hall site?
For the last 30 years, the city has been on an effort to develop an identifiable downtown. So over the last 30 years, there's been several proposals received for the 8-acre site, but none of them were approved.
All right. Can you explain where the city is at today?
2 years ago, the city hosted a community visioning work session to have the community members develop a mission and vision for the site. Over 125 people came to participate in that process, and it was facilitated by GAI Community Solutions, which is a consulting group that the city hired. The mission and vision that was developed during that process was actually taken and placed into a document called a request for proposals that was widely distributed to the development community in hopes of getting a developer. We received 2 proposals for the site based on those documentation.
Can you tell us where we are in the process today?
So on July 17th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Oldsmar Public Library in Tico Hall, we're hosting a trade show style public workshop. And so what that means is we're going to have one developer on one side of Tico Hall and another developer on the other side of Tico Hall, and they're going to have all of their plans and boards and information, and the public's going to be able to go and ask their specific questions straight to the developer. During that time, we're going to have comment cards. It's so important that the public actually leave input on the comment cards. And so those comment cards are going to be collected by GAI Community Solutions, and they're going to be given to the City Council as part of their consideration process.
Is there anything the public should do to prepare before attending the open house?
You don't have to prepare to come to the public open house, but it may be helpful. There's a lot of documentation available on downtownoldsmar.com. So on that website, the public will find the mission and vision that was developed by the community for the site. There's the actual request for proposal. There's also a scoring criteria sheet, and that's a scoring criteria that was developed by the City Council, but that's how each proposal is going to be judged. There's some background information, all sorts of things. So while you don't have to, I would highly encourage it.
What is the next step after the open house?
After the open house, the City Council is going to host a special meeting on August the 17th. It begins at 9 a.m. in the City Council chambers. And at that time, they're going to hear from the developers. They're going to have formal presentations. They're going to have their PowerPoint presentations. The City Council is going to have a Q&A session with the developers. They're going to consider any of the public comment, and they're going to consider input from GAI at that meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, they're going to score and rank the 2 proposals received.
What happens after that special meeting?
After that special meeting, at the next regularly scheduled City Council meeting, which is on August 27th at 7 p.m., the City Council will consider if they want to move forward with the top-ranking developer. If they do, they're going to authorize me to begin negotiations for a development agreement.
What is a development agreement?
A development agreement is really just a contract between the city and the developer. The contract will specify what the obligations of both parties are. It also has performance criteria, and it will have a schedule. It's the tool that a city can use to make sure that the developer is actually building what they told the city they would build.
Okay. How long will that process take?
Oh gosh, I really just don't know. And the reason is that the process involves a lot of steps. So the first step is that I will have to negotiate something that is mutually agreed on between the city and the developer and bring the development terms to the City Council for their consideration. If the City Council approves the development terms, then they will direct me to host 3 open houses to gain more public input. So those 3 open houses are going to be held at different locations and at different times throughout the city. After those occur, all the public comment that we got from those public open houses are going to be brought back to the city council along with the development terms. The city council will then decide if they want to move forward. If they decide to move forward at that point, they'll direct the city attorney to draft all the legal documents. After the legal documents are drafted, the development agreement and the terms and the plans will go to the planning board for their recommendation. Then it goes to the city council for 2 more public hearings to consider if they're going to approve the development agreement. So the process takes a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of steps. Why?
It's very different from a private real estate transaction. If private real estate transaction, you may have a purchase and sale agreement, you may get inspections that may be contingent on finances. This is different. It's municipally owned property, and we follow the code of ordinances which lay out the steps for a development agreement.
Okay. How can residents stay up to date and informed about the progress of the development?
I think the easiest way is downtownoldsmar.com. We'll continue to update that as we move through the process.
All right. Well, thank you for that information, Felicia. And we hope everyone is able to come to the open house on Wednesday, July 17th. You can stop by anytime between 4 and 8 p.m. at the Oldsmar Library.